outstanding.
Okay, and you're the mayor of Camden?
Yes, the mayor of Camden, Jeffrey Graham.
Okay, you look kind of young.
Yes, sir. I try to hold my age as long as I can.
Okay, what does today mean to you?
This is huge for our community. It's huge for our family. Larry Doby was a part of my hometown, and it's a great to honor him today and the family and the friends. It was a great gathering today, and this forever stamp will be a part of our nation forever.
Excellent. Can you give us an idea of what are some of your keys to success that you think might have been based on today?
Well, a lot of it is a sense of community. If you come to Camden, we want you to feel like this is home. Families that move away and come back, this is still their home. And so we want to honor that, and we want to make sure that's preserved. But at the same time, we've got to grow and continue to focus on the future and plan for it and remember the past as well.
Excellent. So what's in store? You talked about some other events coming up.
Always have something going on at Camden, but one of the major things for this family and Larry Doby, we will actually have a statue of Larry Doby in about March or April of next year. So that'll be another addition to some of the legacy that Camden provides. But there's always something going on in Camden, and we hope that you'll take the time and opportunity to come back and visit.
Listen, I appreciate it, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
So can you give us an idea of some of the different feelings and thoughts that were going through you as the whole ceremony was going on?
Well, I'm kind of amazed because, people ask me questions about my dad and his, career, and he's just my dad, So for him to be on a stamp, like going all over the world, it's amazing. And people will say, who is Larry Doby? And then maybe they'll find out.
I asked you this question before, but can you tell us a little something about your dad that wasn't mentioned today?
Oh, boy. The fact that, well, no, I better not mention that. What should I say? There's so many things.
Well, that story that I just heard you say about when you came out the hotel was.
Oh, yeah.
You said a crowd of
I remember as a kid, right? Yeah. When we would go to this, like my mom would do, food shopping, she always had to get, like, 2 watermelons, one for him and then one for the rest of the family. My father did not share. Right. Same thing with ice cream. Did not share. He just had like the half gallon and the spoon.
Oh, okay.
I get that from him.
So what do you think were his keys to success? Why was he such a successful individual, and not only on the baseball field but as a person?
Because he never, failure was not an option for him. He loved baseball. He wanted to play baseball, and that's exactly what he did.
Excellent. All right. So where are you now? You're in. I know you said you're living in Charlotte. Okay, and are you going to be doing any more things for your dad, or what?
If I'm called to, of course I will. Anything like, to keep his legend going, because people don't realize that he is a legend.
Well, it's a significant day because a wonderful Major League ball player is being honored. He's being honored by having a postage stamp with his picture that'll go across the country, unveiling of a wonderful picture that'll be a permanent place in Camden, South Carolina, where he grew up, was born. And then people are recognizing what a tremendous ball player he was. 7 consecutive times as an all-star, led the American League in home runs on 2 occasions, and then ultimately the Hall of Fame, which is the ultimate in baseball.
Okay, now you gave us a story. You said that you were the only one that made it into the Hall of Fame, but you wasn't on a winning team?
Well, We've 9 out of the first 10 years I played, we were in World Series competition. And we played, first of all, 55 and 6, the Dodgers, 7 and 8, Milwaukee. 59 we didn't win. That was the year the White Sox won. But in 60, 61, 2, 3, and 4, we played in the World Series. And in 1960, we played the Pirates. And when the game was over, we lost. Bill Mazeroski had a home run out of the park as a walk-off home run. The Pirates won. And I was more surprised than anybody when Sport Magazine, who presents the 1960 Corvette to the player that's named most valuable, came up to me and said, "You are the most valuable in the World Series." Never been done before, has not been done since, and I don't think it ever will be. A part of the tradition of winning is that the most valuable player. But for that one occasion, I am the only one from a losing team that ever received the honor of being most valuable player.
Excellent. Now, you're also responsible for putting the University of South Carolina on the track that it's on now.
Well, that was fun. I was asked by Paul Dietzel to be the baseball coach, University of South Carolina, when I retired, and I did take over. I had a commitment from the Yankees that they would come down and play our ball club when we were ready for them, and After we lost to Miami by 1 run my third year, I called the Yankees and said, we're ready for you. And Lee McPhail said, we got a little problem. We're traveling north with the Mets. Would it be all right if the Yankees and Mets come and play your ball club? And they did come. We played 3 innings against the Yankees, 3 against the Mets, and then they played each other under the lights. Just put our team on the map, and right after that, we did finish second in the nation in the College World Series. That was the start of baseball at South Carolina, and Ray Tanner and June Raines have kept it going, and it will continue for a while. Wonderful new stadium and a great program.
Excellent. And before I let you go, can you give me your keys to success, the keys that you have, and what you think that Larry Doby had? What makes a good individual, not only ball player, but
I think there are 3 ingredients that are necessary that would certainly help in leadership, and one is to recognize that we do have an influence. We're in the game of baseball, but there are others as well that would have the same influence, and to recognize there is a power in your example, so it's important what we do. And then I say, secondly, it's important not to let it break down at home, not portray one thing on the outside and see it break down at home, where our true nature is revealed. But then thirdly, and most important, not a religion or a philosophy, but the reality of a living Savior who gives to us an abundant life.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Yes, sir. That's me. I'm getting a little bit older, but we're doing well.
Hi, I'm Davy Beard from Camden, South Carolina.
And can you tell us about your collection that we've been looking at?
My collection is of Larry Doby's memorabilia. I've been collecting for about 6 to 8 years, and I'm real proud of this collection that shows Larry Doby and when he started in 1947 onto the present day. It's a little bit from everything over 50, 60 years.
So why did you even want to start?
I started collecting his memorabilia because he is from Camden, South Carolina, and I'm very proud of him as being from Camden. And that's why I started collecting his memorabilia, and he's important in history, and we need to honor him in Camden and South Carolina as being a wonderful person of history.
Excellent. And in your collecting, is there anything that you personally learned about him that you actually enjoyed?
I enjoyed him as a baseball person, just his memorabilia that shows history. And that's what I collect, is memorabilia of this area. And he's definitely a part of that history, which I adore and like.
I know you have so much. Any favorites?
I have some baseball, baseball bat, the Cleveland Indian Championship. It's just a very fascinating collection all around.
So how many items do you think you actually have?
I don't know, but probably about 200 or more, yeah.
200 or more, okay. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure, and I want to thank you so much. Okay.
My name is Kevin Bronson. I am the city manager for the city of Camden.
Okay, now the reason I'm saying this because I have a few years on me, but you and the mayor seem awfully young.
We are younger, I guess, but just keep in mind I've got 10 years on the mayor. So.
Oh, okay, great. Can you tell us the importance of today?
Yeah, today we were able to honor one of Camden's own, Larry Doby, and it's significant to us that he came from Camden and that during the civil rights era he was one of those quiet, distinguished gentlemen who made his way through and was able to excel in his sport despite all that was going on around him. And that he's from Camden is honorable to us, and this was one of our ways of honoring him back and having his family here and having the U.S. Postal Service come along and bring the forever stamp. To do that here in Camden, we have the Larry Doby fields that are named after him. We have a Larry Doby statue that we'll be adding to the grounds of the museum in March of next year. So it's about honoring our past. You know, we do that here in Camden. Our history is important to us, and Mr. Doby's part of that history.
Excellent. So can you give us an idea of some of the things that you actually learned about him in terms of putting this event together, something that you could tell the audience?
You know, I think the the part initially that I learned is I didn't know that he and Jackie Robinson were contemporaries, but they were side by side, and it just had to. The biggest difference between the two of them was that Jackie Robinson was an outgoing, very extroverted personality, and Larry was a much quieter guy, more of I don't know if he was an introvert, but he was much more quiet, and that was his personality type. So he went for a long time before he was added into the Hall of Fame. And one of the things I learned was because he didn't go and advocate to get in the Hall of Fame for himself. He kind of said, I'll rest on my laurels of the good work, of the good ball that I played and the good ball I was a part of. And, it was toward the latter part of his life that he was finally inducted into the Hall of Fame. And that just kind of speaks to his character because he wasn't out there self-promoting. He wasn't out there in the front line. He just wanted to do his thing. He wanted to play baseball, and he did it in his own quiet, distinguished manner.
Excellent. And before I let you go, for the young people that's looking at this, what kind of attributes do you feel that he had that the young people today can pick up from him?
Well, when in many of the things I learned, as he was an African American trying to make his way into really a white world, insults were hurled at him. Sometimes baseballs were hurled at him pretty hard when he was on the mound, and he didn't lose his cool. He kept his mind about him. He held his head up high. He knew what his worth was, and he knew that it wasn't worth lowering himself to the level of the folks that were trying to degrade him for what he was doing. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned for everybody there, that you don't have to sink down to someone else's level if they're insulting you, if you know what your own worth is. And I'd like to think that Larry Doby learned some of his worth here in Camden, so that when he went into those environments, he was comfortable with himself regardless of what was coming his way, and he didn't engage kind of in the mud throwing that was going on at the time. He just played baseball.
Listen, I want to thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure for me to even talk with you.